This is Face to Face on the Virginia Voice, and for the Virginia Voice, I'm Lou Dean. You're going to hear from Tracee Prillaman, the co-founder and director of DaCapo Virginia. Tracee, DaCapo means start over, do it from the beginning. It's an Italian phrase. How does it translate to DaCapo Virginia?
Thanks for having me today, Lou. I'm excited to be here and share DaCapo with a new set of listeners. First of all, I will say I'm impressed that you knew what DaCapo meant and that you knew it was an Italian term as well as a musical term. Most people ask us, DaCapo, where did you come up with that name? Is that your last name, or how did you create it?
It really means from the head.
Yes, it does. It's exactly what it means. It's an Italian word that means from the head. And so musically, when you see DaCapo in music, you'll see it letters DC, and it shows you or tells you to go back to the beginning of your music. So what we do at DaCapo relates directly to that. My husband and I have professional music training, both went the conservatory route, and both are professional singers. I'm a soprano, he's a tenor. And when we moved to Richmond, and particularly we moved to the Midlothian area with our family, we just saw that the way people are doing music and teaching music, that conservatory model, is really not having the impact on the community and on the world at large that we see should be happening.
And could be happening.
And could be happening. And it was really eye-opening. We have 4 kids, and we kind of looked and went, what is there for our kids to participate in? So they could go do lessons. They could learn to play the piano or play an instrument. Of course, they could come through the schools, music programs. They could do church music programs, all of that. But where was the opportunity for our kids and for other kids in the area to be able to really invest in a musical community and become a part of something that's larger than themselves and just that child learning an instrument? And so the idea of DaCapo was to go back to the beginning and reinvent how we teach music making. So our approach at DaCapo is threefold. Our motto tells what it is, and it's love it, learn it, and live it. And so that motto walks us through this approach of passion, meeting people where they are. They walk in the door with a love for music, and we help to enable and really further develop that love for music. Then we educate, right? They learn their music, because if they love it and they want to do it, then they have to learn what they're doing. We have to equip them with tools and create musical literacy for that child or that student.
I hear everything you're saying.
Yep.
How is this different from a regular musical educational background?
That's a really good question. The idea of DaCapo is that we augment what kids are already doing in their schools, in their churches. We're a non-auditioned, non-select group, so we take all comers. We take people of all ability levels, all disability levels. We work to create a next-level experience for each of our students, so we take them where they are. We create that next-level step for them to say, where do we want this student to go? Where do we see the potential in this student? What are their skills and capabilities? How can we increase that? How can we build their confidence as a person, as an individual, and then also as a musician, right, and teach those musical skills? Then you take all of those students, combine them into the larger DaCapo community so that they can create excellent results, both in themselves individually and as ensembles on performing stages. So the difference there is it is an inclusive setting, right, creating inclusive excellence.
Who is your staff? Who is your faculty?
Professional musicians in the Richmond region who we have been very fortunate and blessed to interact with over the past 7 or 8 years, I guess. We have music therapists on staff. We have professional music educators on staff. We have educators who work with special needs students in the public schools. We have everybody on our faculty has a degree in music, whether they're a music educator, they're a composer, an arranger, a performer, a music therapist, as I said. They're all degreed professionals in the area.
The audience can't see me, but I raised my eyebrow and you said musical therapist. What is a musical therapist?
Music therapist is a person who works with, could be hospital patients, it could be students with special needs, and they use music to perform therapy on that student or on that child or even an adult. It could be an adult as well. So music is something that is very therapeutic by nature. I think you probably would agree with that. Music is something, and the arts are something that speak to people in a unique and individual way that words just can't do. And particularly music. And as a musician, I guess I'm certainly biased. But so music is a tool that you can use to heal people to an extent, and that's really what music therapy is, to help them come to maybe a new level of understanding if they've dealt with grief, if they've dealt with stress, if they're ill, if they're a cancer patient, if they're suffering in some way, shape, or form. Music therapy is a way for them to sort of channel those energies and grow and increase their quality of life.
Tracee Prillaman, listening to you, it's obvious you have a love of music.
Thank you, Lou. I do.
But
I love it.
How do you? I guess you don't have to pass it on. People would not come to you as a student if they didn't already have a love of music.
I would agree with that. I would agree. The neat thing is, you think about who is the DaCapo community. So what kind of students do you have? A lot of people would think, oh, you're a DaCapo, you have all credentialed teachers. Well, my kid's not good enough to participate. My kid has special needs. My kid just, we just are not good musicians. And, the neat thing is that everybody who comes to us, they are appreciators. They're great appreciators of music making and of the arts. And so when you have that natural appreciation for the arts and for music, you could do tons of things with that student, right? I mean, you bring a student in who can't match pitch, 6, 7 years old, and through instruction, through passion, through discipline, and then through application, where they're learning to apply all of the music making skills that they have learned, that's when you see the growth and development in the child. So, you see people come in who are very adept musicians. We have some kids who are very skilled and advanced. And then we have students who come in who can't match pitch, who've only done music maybe in their school, or if they're homeschoolers, maybe just their church music program, which are all of great value and contribute significantly, right, to an arts part of our personality. But when they come to DaCapo, we're able to figure out what are their specific skills. Where is this child starting? And where, like I said earlier, where do we want to see them go? What are their capabilities? Because everybody is capable of performing and doing great things.
Let me ask a technical question. If
Sure.
somebody comes in and can't match pitch, how is that taught?
Very carefully.
Really? I mean, that
Yeah.
seems to be, I've known several people who have perfect pitch.
Uh-huh.
And to me, that's a great gift. But even people who don't have that know how to match tones and all. How do you teach that?
The best way to teach it is to put that child in a setting where they are surrounded with other singers of same ability and of a finer ability and even of a lesser ability. Because music making in a community group setting for a child and for a young singer is really the best way for them to learn and really hone their musical skills. Because again, you're taking advantage of the fact that you've got a musical community made up of a wide variety of abilities. And so it's amazing what the child who doesn't match pitch, who can't match pitch, what they can learn from the kids who match pitch from the time they were 6 months old, which we have some of those, right? And then those kids who are really skilled, qualified musicians, what they can learn from the child who can't match pitch. But they all come about it with that same passion and excitement for music making. And you have to set your standards high, Lou, just like you do with your show, with your radio show. You have to have standards. You have to set high standards so that everyone can achieve that high bar. And even when we set high standards, our students always achieve above and beyond that. Because you set that expectation in a community model, there's such great accountability that develops amongst the students. I, as the director, I don't have to say a word. Those kids know what's acceptable and what's not, musically, socially, in their interactions with one another. And so you really see them develop a really tight-knit sense of community amongst the students, the parents, the faculty, and that's That's a big key of what we do, is building musical communities.
In the original cast of Guys and Dolls many years ago in the 50s, one of the stars could really sell a song, but in ensemble, his fellow ensemble members said, please don't sing, just mouth the words because you throw us off. So there's things that, you have to mesh.
You do, absolutely. I mean, that's the great thing about music making and the arts, is you have to learn how to work in community. You have to learn how to work with other people, particularly in a choral setting, which is a tradition that I came through at Westminster Choir College. Westminster Choir College in Princeton, New Jersey is one of the finest choral institutions, choral training institutions in the world. I was able, as a student at Westminster, and my husband Jeff as well, to sing on the main stages in New York and in Philadelphia and in New Jersey and in Italy and in South Carolina at the Spoleto Festival. Opportunities that we had as college students that people in their wildest dreams would never imagine. And so, you look and say, we had those opportunities because we were a part of a musical community that valued each individual's contribution, took the best from everybody, put it together to create this package that creates unbelievable excellence on the stage. And so that was part of the idea when we came to Richmond. We wanted to create sort of that mini Westminster experience for just regular people. Because how many students out there, how many people really are going to go that conservatory route anymore? How are they going to get a job? Kids go to college to study voice, study piano, whatever, as a performer. How are they going to earn a living? It's crazy. And that's such a small percentage of people that go that route. So that's maybe, 3% of the population, if that.
If that.
So what about the next 10%? That's who we're after, is that next 10%. Those students and families who love the arts, who love music making, but they're not going to do it as a career. That's who we are after. That's who we're looking for.
Tracee Prillaman is the co-founder and director of DaCapo, Virginia. Earlier I said you have a love of music. You have a passion for music.
Thank you, Lou. I do. I have a passion for music making. I have a passion for people and seeing people achieve their best. Let
me ask you, put a lot of emphasis on the children who come to you. What about adults? Do adults come to DaCapo?
We've had some adults in the past. We're looking to get our adult ensemble going again. It's called Bel Canto. And we take, again, it's non-auditioned, any and all singers that want to come and be a part of it. And the beautiful thing at DaCapo, Lou, is that, there are offerings for kids ages 5 and up. Typically developing kids with special needs. Another part of what we do at DaCapo is our guest artist series called our Make a Difference concerts, where our faculty, our professional level faculty, as well as guest artists in the area who might be semi-professional or amateur musicians, we do concerts together out in the community at places like McGuire VA, places like lots of local assisted living facilities, right? And we use our music to have an impact on other people and make a difference in their day. So, the neat thing is, it's not just about kids. It's not just about people with special needs. There's a place for everybody at DaCapo. Adults with special needs, professional musicians, non-professionals, people who are just pursuing it for fun as a hobby.
You mentioned singers. Do you also have musicians playing instruments?
What we do for instrumentalists is refer our students out to DaCapo recommended private teachers. And so we are able to keep connection there with a private student base through those DaCapo recommended teachers, folks who are in line with the DaCapo way and DaCapo mission and vision.
You've answered a question I was going to ask, which is, where do you perform? And you mentioned a couple of places.
Yeah, wherever and whenever we can. At the end of each instructional session, we always do a family friends community concert at one of our local partnering facilities. The way that we run as a nonprofit, we're able to borrow, I'm not sure what the right word is, space from local churches and area schools to deliver our instruction. So we like to do our concerts in some of those locations. We also do community concerts where we'll go to local shops, malls, festivals, and do performances there. But a big piece of what we do, the third phase of the motto, love it, learn it, and live it, is the impact of music making, not only in your life as a musician, but in the lives of the listeners and in the community. So we take our music out into the community to people who might not necessarily be able to come out to a concert like a lot of people can. We take our music to them. We sing for folks who are residents at Alzheimer's units at a lot of local assisted living facilities, rehab facilities, like I mentioned, McGuire VA, Children's Hospital, those sorts of places.
Well, your motto is use our music to make a difference in someone's day.
Yes, sir.
And that does.
Yes, it does.
You talk about classes. Is there a fee?
Yes, there is a fee. It is a pay-to-play model. So we are a nonprofit, but we do have to pay our teachers because we value the contribution that they make. So depending on the session that you enroll for, if you'd like me to talk a little bit about that,
yes,
Lou,
please.
We're entering our fall session, which will start up at the end of September and run for 10 weeks. So a 10-week session for some of our offerings for our typically developing student offerings is, I think, $225 for the session. $225 might be. I'm not positive of that, Lou. Actually, I have to check the website. It might
be 10 weeks.
Yes, for a 10-week session, and that's all inclusive. For our Vivo students, the price is a little bit higher on that one because there's we have to keep the class size is low because of the interaction that's required, the heavy interaction one-on-one from teacher to student or assistant to student, and so that price is $250. Actually, I believe Animato, Cantare, and Prima Volta are $185 for a 10-week session, so I'll take that back. I apologize as I'm thinking through what those numbers are. But it is for a 10-week experience for all rehearsals, performances. There is a registration fee, a new student one-time registration fee of, I think, $35. But, I was talking to somebody the other day, and the value of learning how to make music and learning how to use music to affect and impact your life and the lives of others throughout your lifetime, you can't put a price on that. It's inestimable. I mean, you just cannot put a price on working with a student who can't match pitch and who's timid and shy. And after maybe not one session, but multiple sessions, couple of years of work, little by little, laying that foundation with that child, surrounding them with other students, like-minded students who have a passion for music making, and to see that child step out on stage, whether it's with me at DaCapo or at their school in a talent show, to see them step out, match pitch, and handle a solo with confidence and poise is the most amazing thing to see. In that child, to see that development and growth, it's just phenomenal. Like I said, you just cannot put a price on that.
Tracee Prillaman, I wish I had met you when I was 6 years old.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you.
You could have helped me greatly.
I appreciate that. I could still help you. I
am beyond help.
I don't know about that.
Tell me about your faculty. You mentioned about a little bit about it before, but do they have other jobs?
Yeah. DaCapo is just a small piece of what our other folks do. Some of them are public school teachers. Some of them are professional music therapists. Some of them work in the corporate world. Some of them are stay-at-home moms. Some of them, like myself, run DaCapo. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have a private teaching studio as well. And I've worked for a local church as well. So, as a musician and artists, if any artists are listening, you work wherever you can because you're not typically able to earn a living just in the arts. And I'm sure you've seen that too, Lou, being in radio.
If people have listened this far into this interview with Tracee Prillaman, the co-founder and director of DaCapo, Virginia, they're now saying, how do I get in touch with this person?
Take a look online. Take a look at our website, DaCapoVA.org. And I hope maybe there will be a link when we air this interview, potentially. DaCapoVA.org. So you can take a look at the website, take a look at our photo gallery, take a look at our history, take a look at our Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook, DaCapoVA, you will find us there. A great presence on Facebook. We have a Twitter presence as well, and we have a YouTube channel. Again, if you go youtube.com/DaCapoVA, you'll be able to see all kinds of things that we've done. We've got some YouTube commercials up. We have a 20-minute DaCapo experience video, which walks people through the DaCapo experience. So you get to see some live performance snips. You get to hear about all of our guiding principles and see sort of what the roots and the foundation of the organization are.
So even people who are sight impaired might be able to get to YouTube and at least hear the product of what you have been teaching.
Absolutely.
Do you have a phone number?
We do. 804-432-3446.
Give that again.
Yes, 804-432-3446.
We've had a wonderful conversation. Is there anything we haven't covered?
I think we've covered it all. I would just say that if you're looking for a musical place to plug in, again, regardless of capability, regardless of age, regardless of disability, it doesn't matter, because everybody has something unique to offer DaCapo and to offer the world. And so DaCapo helps you to find what it is that you have to offer, helps you to hone that experience. You'll gain some great musical tools to put in your back pocket for your other musical experiences in the world. And then we'll help you to have a channel, provide you a channel to share your music and impact the world around you.
Tracee Prillaman is the co-founder and director of DaCapo Virginia. You're listening to Face on the Virginia Voice. And for the Virginia Voice, I'm Lou Dean.